Good morning, it's a brand new month. My name is Gretchen Ho, greeting you on the first day of May and bringing you Morning Matters today because your mornings matter. Let's get to the stories that matter today. Growing concern surrounds the arrest of a suspected Chinese spy near the COMELEC headquarters, with Malacanang and lawmakers calling it a national security issue rather than just election interference. Cebu Governor Gwendolyn Garcia is standing her ground against a 6-month suspension order from the Ombudsman. She intends to send a clarificatory query to the DILG and has criticized the timing of the decision. And this Labor Day, government offers more than free rides. Job fairs are also available for job seekers. We'll check the situation later on in the program. Welcome to our program, Morning Matters, where we talk about the issues you need to know for the rest of your day. Now, first on the agenda. Nearly 19 million Filipino students who graduated from senior and junior high school in 2024 cannot read and understand a simple story. That's according to the Philippine Statistics Authority. The PSA said these people are considered functionally illiterate, or those who have problems in comprehension and understanding. This was revealed during the Senate Basic Education Committee hearing on the results of the 2024 Functional Literacy, Education, and Mass Media Survey. The highest number of functional illiteracy rate was recorded in Region 9, with 41% of their population, or around 1.2 million Filipinos.
So we need to address this because when we were doing our observations in EDCOM, we also saw that, like I mentioned earlier, there were 15-year-olds who went through the system, their junior high school, but they cannot read a simple story. No? So it's actually happening on the ground. No? That's actually happening on the ground, and that should not happen. No? This is where DepEd should already be proactive in making sure that no one will graduate not being functional literate.
Despite the Ombudsman's 6-month suspension order, Cebu Governor Gwendolyn Garcia vows to continue her duties while her team seeks clarification. Here's the report.
I have decided to stay put in office and continue to serve as the governor of this great province of ours. And I am not stepping down.
Cebu Governor Gwendolyn Garcia stands firm. She's not stepping down despite a 6-month suspension order from the Ombudsman. The order stems from a grave abuse of authority complaint filed against her. In May 2024, at the height of Cebu's water crisis, Garcia issued a special query permit to Shalom Construction Incorporated without the required environmental compliance certificate and other documents. Garcia denied the accusation, presenting a copy of the ECC from the DENR and insisting the project was legal. Her camp argued the initiative was approved by the provincial board, which declared Cebu in a state of calamity due to a water shortage. Garcia now plans to send a clarificatory query to the DILG regarding the suspension. She also questioned the timing of the order.
Public officials may not be suspended unless it is duly approved by the COMELEC. Whatever the motivations may be, I will not be perturbed. I will continue to serve the Cebuanos in the best possible way that I can within the bounds of law.
According to the COMELEC, no official may be suspended during election season without its approval. However, if the case involves corruption, the Ombudsman may act without COMELEC clearance.
Meanwhile, cardinals from around the world met on Wednesday for a general congregation to prepare for the conclave. Around 135 cardinals under the age of 80 are eligible to vote for the new leader of the Catholic Church. While the previous two conclaves in 2005 and 2013 each concluded within 2 days, there is speculation this time the process could take longer. Don't go away. Morning Matters will be right back after a short break. I'm Gretchen Ho, and this is Morning Matters. The Office of the Prosecutor has issued a summons to Vice President Sara Duterte in connection with a case filed by the National Bureau of Investigation. This was confirmed by the Vice President herself. In February, the NBI filed charges of grave threat and inciting to sedition against Duterte before the Department of Justice. The case stems from her statement that she had contracted someone to assassinate President Bongbong Marcos, First Lady Liza Marcos, and Speaker Martin Romualdez if she were to be killed first. Prosecutor General Richard Fadulyon said the preliminary investigation on the charges has been set for May 9 and 16.
Ako man ay naka-receive din kanina ng summons sa Office of the Prosecutor sa final ng National Bureau of Investigation na kaso laban sa akin.
Airport security personnel are no longer allowed to touch passengers' passports. That's according to the Ninoy Aquino International Airport, or NAIA. Instead, travelers must personally hold and present their valid ID or travel documents during inspection. The new rule comes after a torn passport incident at an airline check-in counter. In Terminal 3, though, officials clarified that no NAIA security staff were involved. Transportation Secretary Vince Dizon said the policy aims to protect passengers and prevent travel disruptions caused by damaged documents.
Sa ngayon, wala pa kaming nakikitang proof na may modus. Pero syempre, hindi tayo pwedeng maging lax. No? Kailangan, iimbestigahan natin ang mabuti.
In addition to free rides, the government is hosting job fairs today in celebration of Labor Day. And for more details on that, let's check in with mobile journalist Marymon Reyes. Marymon, what's the latest from there? What jobs are available?
Good morning, Gretchen. In celebration of the 123rd Labor Day, itong Department of Labor and Employment, NCR, they are offering more than 70,000 job opportunities to Filipinos today, May 1. And this is in partnership with the Public Employment Service Office o PESO ng mga LGU, pati na rin ang TESDA o yung Technical Education and Skills Development Authority. As of press time, over 750 employers ang nag-confirm na magpa-participate sa simultaneous job fair na ito. So from restaurants to government offices to even yung mga derma clinics, nandito sila at open sila for hiring. Pero dito sa likuran ko, kung makikita nyo, hino-hold pa yung mga hopeful participants kasi hinihintay pa yung ibang mga employers, and around 8:30 or mga 10 or 9 a.m. daw mag-start talaga pagka mas marami na o nakompleto na yung mga employers dito, Gretchen.
Okay, what industries are likely to have the most number of openings for our kababayan?
So far sa pagtatanong natin, Gretchen, yung mga government offices daw, they're expecting an influx of applicants or yung mga mag-i-inquire, lalo-lalo na pagdating sa mga government office work, sa iba't ibang mga slots. Kasi even ang PNP, even ang DOLE, meron sila dito. Ang TESDA, meron din silang ino-offer dito na courses, free trials ng kung ano yung skill set na gusto nilang subukin. And nakuha din natin na impormasyon mula sa Department of Migrant Workers, merong 11 licensed recruitment agencies ang magpa-participate dito at mag-aalok din sila sa job fair. And they're offering more than 4,700 job opportunities for both land-based and sea-based na workers nila. So within the day, we are expecting, kasi meron ding event sa taas ang DOLE at saka ang TUPAD kung saan pupunta later on si President Bongbong Marcos. And yung mga yun daw ay open din para mag-participate dito kung sakaling gusto pa nilang madagdagan ang kanilang skill set or work. Gretchen.
Okay, Marymon, nakita natin yung latest data from PSA na marami sa mga nakagraduate ay may functional illiteracy. Ano naman yung education requirements, no? May minimum ba pag pumunta dyan?
So far, that depends doon sa pinaka-employer na nandito. Kasi for example, doon sa TESDA courses, since alam natin sa TESDA, very open siya kung meron mga degree, kung wala, kung ano ba yung highest educational attainment nila, kung may experience ba or may skill set na silang hinahanap. So that would really depend. Pero ang pinaka-naririnig ko dito, kung sakali man na may mga pupunta dito na who are hopefully finding or hopefully may maland sila na trabaho today, usually ang hinahanap sa kanila resume, CV, other personal information sheet just to show and yung identity nila mismo is siguradong nag-a-apply talaga sila ng trabaho, Gretchen.
Okay. So, yung mga openings naman, pagdating naman sa mga BPO, marami pa rin ba? I mean, are you seeing that industry over there? And meron ba tayong mga bagong industriya katulad ng AI? Alam ko pa, bukas pa lang dyan, pero sa mga nakikita mo, kung yung AI, meron ba silang hinahanap ng mga skilled workers for that industry, mga bagong jobs?
Yes, Gretchen. Meron mga IT firms dito, pero so far, kung related talaga siya kay AI alone specifically, so far wala pa tayong nakikita. Usually, nakikita natin dito corporate offices, hotel works, administrative positions, and plus nga yung government employees na hinahanap nila dito. Pero titignan natin, baka later on may makita tayo dito na naghahanap na ng mga specialists pagdating sa AI.
Sa government, ano naman mga departamento yan?
So far, nakita natin dito, DOLE, ang PNP rin, bukas din sila dito at nagre-recruit din sila. Ang TUPAD, nandito rin sila. And yung iba pa, nandito sa likuran natin, ang PESO, nandito, ang Occupational Safety and Health Center, ang Labor, dito, ito sinasabi natin na one-stop government of services naman para naman doon sa may ibang mga related na concerns, pwede rin silang pumunta dito. We have yung Pag-ibig Fund, OWA, NBI, DTI, BIR, at marami pang iba, Gretchen.
Okay, Marymon, meron ba tayong statistics on the number of unemployed college graduates or the percentage of the unemployed among our workforce?
So far, Gretchen, ang malinaw na numero pa lang na meron tayo ngayon is yung lumabas doon sa isang Senate hearing na over 24 million nga na mga from 10 years old to 64 years old, including yung over 19 million na senior high school at junior high school graduates na illiterate. Ito pa lang yung nakuha nating datos ngayon. And may implication nito na pagdating sa kanilang paghahanap ng trabaho, posibleng magkaroon din sila ng complications. If not, baka magkaroon lang sila ng issues along the way. Pero ito yung isa sa pinakakailangan din na ma-address yung education gap para sa long-term na benefits ng mga estudyante, Gretchen.
Okay. May mga nakausap ka ba dyan? At ano nang sinasabi ng mga ating mga kababayan na nakapila ng maaga dyan sa SMX?
Gretchen, itong mga nasa likuran ko, ilan sa mga yan, dumayo pa sila. Though NCR lang ito at Metro Manila ito, pero yung iba, since ito yung alam nilang mapupuntahan nila na pinakamalapit din naman sa kanila. Pero meron din naman sa Ortigas, meron sa Pasig, meron sa Parañaque na mga job fairs din na simultaneous na ginagawa nito. Pero pinakasinasabi nila sa atin, masyado na raw mataas ang presyo ng bilihin ngayon, kaya kailangan na raw nila, if not to add another job to their list, or makahanap pa sila ng mapagtatrabahuhan na makakapagbigay sa kanila ng convenience of living na so far sana mas okay daw sa current state nila, Gretchen.
Siyempre, meron tayong mga unemployed at meron din tayong mga underemployed. No? So again, on a final note, for those who would want to make their way to the job fair, what do they need to bring and until when is that open?
So far, itong job fair, simultaneous job fair across Metro Manila, isasagawa siya today, May 1. Pero if ever magkakaroon ng extension nito, DOLE will be announcing it sa kanilang mga social media pages. Pero to be clear din, bukod dito sa SMX sa Pasay, meron din sa Manila Science High School for Manila, meron sa MICE Center sa Quezon City, SM Sukat Parañaque, sa Vista Mall Taguig, Robinsons Place at SM Las Piñas, SM Grand Central Caloocan, Robinsons Metro East Pasig, SM City Marikina, and SM City East Ortigas. Libre ang registration, kailangan lang dito ng valid ID. Mas maganda na rin daw maging handa. So magdala na rin ng resume, ng CV, o kahit na ano magpapatunay na either naghahanap ka ng bagong trabaho o naghahanap ka ng malilipatan na trabaho. And so far, magsisimula siya ngayon pa lang simultaneously as early as 6 a.m. Pwede na nag-start ng registration. Pero for example, dito sa likuran ko, around mga 9 a.m. or 10 para mag-start talaga pag nakompleto na employers. And they will run until 5 o'clock p.m. Pero kung marami para mapupunta dito, they're open to extending the job fair. Gretchen.
Okay, dapat din ba maghanda sila para sa parang mini-interview dyan or talagang application lang nangyayari dyan?
Yes, kailangan din nilang maghanda sa interviews kasi narinig ko na kanina, i-ready nyo na yung mga questions kasi kailangan daw, masagot daw ito ng maayos para maintindihan talaga ng employers kung willing at handa ba talaga mag-apply para sa trabaho etong job seekers.
So may preliminary interview pagdating dyan. Alright, so better come with your best selves and all the IDs you can figure out and mga clearance, yan ang mahalaga. No? But in the meantime, thank you so much for joining us on Labor Day. Hopefully, maraming magkatrabaho pagkatapos ng araw ngayon at maging maganda ang ating panimula ng month of May. That was mobile journalist Marymon Reyes joining us from the SMX Convention Center in Manila. Don't go away. More matters to discuss after the break. Keep it here on One News. Welcome back. You're still watching Morning Matters here on One News. NBI reveals it has been tracking the alleged Chinese spy near the Comelec office since April 24. Spokesperson Ferdinand Lavin confirms that seized devices match equipment used for data interception and recovery. Here's the report.
An NBI operation last Sunday supposedly caught Chinese national Tak Hoi Lao red-handed. He was arrested near the Comelec headquarters in Intramuros, Manila, and in his car were hot items. There was an international mobile subscriber identity, or IMSI catcher, that can gather sensitive data and information like text messages, mobile numbers, and calls from mobile phones near it. There were also cell phones, SIM cards, and other gadgets. On Wednesday, Tak underwent inquest before the Department of Justice. He is being charged for violation of the Espionage Act of 1941, as well as misuse of devices and illegal interception and system interference under the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012. Tak has since denied all these allegations. But for Senate Majority Leader Francis Tolentino, Tak's presence near the Comelec office validates the findings of last week's Senate inquiry, which exposed efforts by China to meddle in the May elections.
Ang gusto nila manalo yung pro-China candidates. Ang gusto nila ma-repeal yung maritime zones law. Ang gusto nila bumaba yung depensa natin at makuha nila ang Pilipinas at maging probinsya tayo ng China.
NBI spokesperson Ferdinand Lavin, meanwhile, told the big story that they have been monitoring the movements of Tak since April 24. Lavin added that devices recovered from the suspect were consistent with equipment used for data interception and recovery.
It's very possible na they're just obtaining or illegally accessing data. Hindi pa namin clearly ma-establish whether they are selling this data o kung sino yung end user nila kasi nilalabas nila ito. Ang klaro sa amin dito, pinapunta siya dito to take over the operations of a machine.
The palace, for its part, said it will defer to the Defense Department to summon Chinese Ambassador Wang Shilian on this matter.
That is an issue of national security, so we will just leave it at that. We will leave it at that, and we will just have an investigation, thorough investigation on that matter.
The Comelec, meanwhile, assured the public that there is no election data in its headquarters.
And therefore, anong purpose? Yun ang gusto nating alamin. Kung ang impormasyon na gusto nilang makuha ay sa cellphone, sa text, o yung mga tawag, anong purpose? Para po magamit laban sa bawat isa? Para po gamitin para sa mind conditioning? Yan po yung gusto namin pong alamin. And therefore, maghihintay po kami ng report ng NBI sa kung pagkatapos nila magkaroon ng lab test o ng examination nung nakuha ng mga na-equipment.
For more on that, we have with us on the show Cybersecurity Philippines Joseph Felix Pacamara. Thank you so much for joining us, Joseph. Okay, Joseph, tell us how an MC catcher works. Ito yung equipment o device na hawak-hawak ng alleged Chinese spy. Paano nagagamit niyan at ano ang impormasyon na nakukuha niya exactly?
Yung IMSI catcher, ang ginagawa niya, purpose niya is i-capture, you can start tracking locations ng phone, yung capture yung voice, SMS, and data content. And on some cases, ginagamit siya for, i-force yung mobile phone of any device around it to go down to example, nasa 5G, 4G, o nasa 3G ka, ipipilitin kanyang ibaba sa 2G. So in a context, ginagawa niyang vulnerable yung yung mobile device ng tao para makapag-intercept siya.
So paano ginagawa yung pagbaba from 5G to 2G? At kasama ba doon sa mga mai-intercept niya yung mga social messaging apps katulad nung Messenger, Viber, WhatsApp, is that also vulnerable to this?
Yung pag-force niya is this. Yung methodology niya is, example, yung IMI catcher, ilalatag mo siya so either sa vehicle or sa drone or pwede mo siyang ilatag sa isang mesa across a park. Ang ginagawa niya is ang gagawin niya is para siyang mag-simulate ng isang mobile station or sabihin natin na ano tawag niyan, isang parang nagko-clone siya or kinokopya niya yung behavior ng isang parang mobile station or yung tower ng isang cell site. So, ang pagkatapos noon, siya ibo-boost niya yung power niya. So, ma-overwhelm niya yung regular na cell red signal, yung legitimate na mobile station, and yung mga devices is titignan siya na, ito yung pinakamalapit sa aking cell site tower. So, doon na siya magko-connect. So, ang ginagawa niya is i-spook niya yung yung parang mga cell towers para mapilitan yung mga mobile devices around niya ito kumabit sa kanya.
So, and that mobile site is able to take control of the phones. Pero yun nga, kasama ba doon yung social messaging apps?
Yung mga social messaging apps, may sarili siyang encryption. Ang literally nakukuha lang ng IMSI catcher, depende sa build niya and version niya, is yung voice, then yung SMS, and some data content. And then particularly, may mga IMSI catchers na may passive and active attack siya. Yung passive is naghahanap lang siya ng mga mobile devices around you and nagtatrack siya ng mga mobile devices or mobile phone numbers. So yun ang pinaka-target niya.
So it depends on the sophistication of the IMSI catcher that they have, no? So kung anong version, kumbaga. Pero yung IMSI catcher, ito ba ay kukuha lamang ng datos? Wala siyang kakayahan na kontrolin yung cellphone? Or for example, to see yung password mo as you type it. Kasi meron din ganun, di ba? Yung nagmimimic ng phone, nakikita niya yung activity mo, tapos nababasa niya kung ano yung mga password mo. Di ba may ganun din? Ito, may ganun bang capability?
Ang blended attack na yon, ibang method of attacks na siya.
Okay.
Dahil, as example, may na-track ka ng yung IMSI ginamit sa'yo, na-identify yung number mo, right? So, na-identify yung number mo, ang susunod na usually na gagawin ng attacker is magpapadala sa'yo ng, sabihin natin, SMS or any other messaging methodology na pwede kang padala niya ng apps. Ibang combination na siya. Pero from the start, yung IMSI, ang goal lang niya is to start tracking devices around the area, capture voice, SMS, and data contact.
Okay. Now, what could that IMSI catcher have caught near the COMELEC office, and what do you think was it targeting? I mean, there are so many speculations, but taking a look at the specific location outside the COMELEC office, ano kaya yung maaari niyang nakuha?
On a standard IMSI, okay, activity or campaign, usually ang kinakapture niya, if they will be doing it against a particular, sabihin natin, a company or a government agency, lahat ng phone numbers nun, kina-capture na. Ililista niya sa parang database at dun siya that will be the start. And from there, you can start, depending on the version that they're using or build, they can start listening to phone calls and start looking at SMS transaction between those phone numbers and among other things. So everyone in a certain facility na tina-target niya, I cannot speculate kung anong nasa COMELEC na kinuha ng tao, pero this is an example. If they do target a particular facility or say a company, yung lahat ng number ng tao doon, lahat ng usapan, pwede niyang pakinggan depending on the version. And then, yung mga SMS communication nila, nakaka-capture din niya. Yung CRI, mga phone-related activities, nakikita niya. And natatrack niya kung sino yung pumapasok na bagong number, which is can be another person or among other, or devices in the area.
What about conversations over the phone made outside the is that 500 or 300 kilometers up to up to yung distance po niya, may radius siya, di ba? Ano po yung radius po ulit nito?
Depending on the version, ma'am. It can be from
Okay,
what
okay.
from 100
Oo.
meters to 1 kilometer.
Oo. So, yung conversations made outside that radius, masusundan ba yun? I mean, pag nakuha na yung number, pwede nang sundan outside when these people are outside of office.
Yes, ma'am. They can be tracked.
Okay. How about voter information? Because it has also spurred fears that this might lead to election interference.
Usually, ma'am, ang target lang nito is mobile devices, either with SIM card or without SIM card for the matter. Or dahil ang tina-capture lang niya is yung yung mobile subscriber data. So, yun lang siya. Unless may blended threat na siya o combination of attack na siya from the mobile phone, they can send among other things. Yung target niya, pinadalhin niya ng data. It can, combination attack na siya. Pero by IMSI by itself, for kuwan lang siya, ma'am. For, sabihin natin, surveillance.
Listening, oo. On a final note, super mabilis lang. Ito po ba ay mabilis lang makuha, ma-obtain yung IMSI?
For the past, sabihin natin, 5 years or so, madali na siyang i-assemble and madali siyang makuha sa market.
All right. Thank you so much for explaining that piece of technology with us and what has been vulnerable to that. We have Joseph Felix Pacamara of Cybersecurity Philippines. And now to give us more context on this issue, we are now joined by Senator Francis Tolentino, Chairperson of the Senate Committee on Admiralty and Maritime Zones. Thank you so much, Senator, for joining us on Labor Day.
Good morning, Gretchen. Good morning to you. Happy Labor Day.
Happy Labor Day. Okay, Senator, sabi po ninyo na itong election interference, hindi lang ito one time, no, but part of a long-time plot. What did you mean by that?
You see, if you tie all the dots, submersible drones has been going on several years. 5 pa lang yung nahuli natin. Ang sabi, Navy, tip of the iceberg. There must be hundreds out there na umiikot the drones. Never denied by China, even SIM card China Telecom. The spies arrested, not just near the Comelec premises, but even the spies arrested El Grande Subic, yung Palawan 5, malapit sa Makati, and hindi rin dinidena yun. Cases were filed against them. Yung lumabas sa hearing, yung the check paid with the embassy, the contract I showed, the contract between this embassy and the Infinitus Group, never denied, not denied. The sudden disappearance of the words West Philippine Sea in the Google, which resurfaced again today. Nangyayari ang mga ganyan. And then ito yung Chinese spy near the Comelec premises. So if you connect the dots, connected lahat to, being orchestrated, China. Kaya sinasabi ko, look at the lessons of history. In 2019, 2021, Canada, the Canadian Parliament produced a detailed report. The first part was 109 pages. You can look at the reports online, Gretchen. Alam ko magaling ka dyan. Detailing how China interfered in the elections. The same is true with Australia and New Zealand. The same is true with other countries. It's true with what happened in the political exercise in California. What attended and was accepted as manager of a candidate, a Chinese. So, ganito kalalim na yung mga nangyari. And the overall goal, Gretchen, is really to undermine Philippine democratic process, our system, and eventually to collapse, dilute the resolve of the Filipinos, of the Philippine government to fight black Chinese interference, especially as we know as Philippine Sea.
Kay Senator Francis, medyo choppy po yung signal po ninyo, no? Pero medyo naiintindihan naman po namin. You were referring to a 194-page Canadian parliamentary report on Chinese election interference in 2019 and 2021. Pero kung babasahin po natin, ano po yung patterns of spying that they saw? Para malaman po natin, meron po bang pagkakahalintulad sa nangyayari ngayon sa Pilipinas?
Po, nabanggit ng National Security Council that there are sponsored candidates. Nabanggit ng National Security Council that China would prefer a set of candidates or a certain candidate, especially for the senatorial race, to win because that would be for their own interest. So nabanggit na po yan. It's all out there. It's all out there. And if you will look at the recent Gabra report, which was by Reuters, mas maintindihan yan.
Pero dito po, doon sa interview po namin, doon po sa Cybersecurity Philippines, yung IMSI catcher ay pwede lamang makinig doon sa conversations on the device but not really target the voters' data doon sa local absentee voting natin. I mean, ano kaya yung parang gusto nilang makuhang impormasyon doon? And if you take a look at the devices na nakita po natin, hindi naman sa ina-undermine po natin ito, but mabilis nang mabuo ng kahit sino. Meron nga po siya, nahanap nga po siya sa online shopping platforms, yung mga devices na yan. So there's also the other side is, are we being too paranoid because with the other Chinese guy arrested, para sabi siya po ay nagsusurvey naman para sa apps, minamap niya para dun sa app company that he was working for. I mean, that angle also is present, right?
Alam niyo po, it's not the first time na nahuli sila sa Intramuros area. Last January 2025 po na ganong incident. So, the mere fact that it is capable of intercepting messages is a concern enough. Imagine kung nag-uusap yung mga official natin doon, tapos nasasagap nila. Hindi pa po yung pag-ispiya. Kung saan sila magkikita, kung saan, ano yung agenda, halimbawa. So, they can do something. So, it doesn't have to be your present number. It doesn't have to be anything that would involve the machines. So, interference na po yun. So, we'll find out from the NBI. I'll be conducting another hearing this coming Monday. And we'll see kung ano po yung kalalabasan nito. But all of this have yet to be denied by the...
Sabi niyo po, the NSC has a report on Chinese-sponsored candidates. Would we have a list of that? And also, we know you to be one of those vocal on the West Philippine Sea. Are you also being targeted by these troll farms that you are investigating over at the Senate?
Opo, yung primary target nila. Nung pinirmahan po yung Republic Act 12064, yung Maritime Zones Law noong November 8, umulan na po. Halos bumara na po yung page ko ng Batikos. Ako po yung primary target nila kasi ayaw nilang mapasa yun. So yung mga listahan sinasabi nyo, ay siguro po I'd rather defer to the National Security Council or NSA.
Okay. When it comes to the Senate Special Committee on Maritime and Admiralty Zones public inquiry, are we expecting to invite the troll farm? Troll farm po ba ang tawag sa kanila? Sorry. Yung Infinitos.
PR firm. Yes,
PR firm. No? Infinitos.
Yes.
Are you inviting them?
Yes. Yes, invitations were sent yesterday.
Okay. If ever they are found to these documents that you presented, the service contract for the Chinese embassies, proven to be authentic, what charges do you think could be filed by government authorities?
NBI is its own independent investigation, treason, and because our laws at the moment are weak. So to speak, yung ating Commonwealth Act 616 is circa 1941 pa yon. Yun yung kailangan baguhin. Ako ng amendatory legislation February 2025, even before all of came into light. So, ganito kaluma yung ating batas. So, may mga kaparusahan po yan. Ganon din po yung mga nahuli na doon po sa Subic, sa Palawan at sa Makati.
Okay, what are you hoping to change with the pre-existing law?
Heftier penalties, perhaps make some of the crimes committed as non-bailable. Kasi ngayon, bailable pa, ma'am. Yun po siguro paigtingin yung batas. At siguro to raise public awareness that there are some elements out there trying to destroy our way of our democracy, and unwittingly gadgets, social media are being used without us knowing. Kung nagagamit din tayo, minsan sumasagot ka siguro, Gretchen, text mo, troll pala yung text mo. Kami nagtatanong dyan sa program mo, hindi pala totoong tao. So, mahaba na po itong istoryang ito, and this documented ito. But then again, our end point here is to really strengthen our system. Hindi naman natin kayang gawin bulletproof ito, but make democracy stronger in our country.
Okay, disinformation operations are not new. Matagal na po yan. Tama po kayo dyan. But it is also a challenge, isn't it, to link the exact accounts to the actual users. Ay, paano po kaya natin malalaman, no? And who will be held accountable? Oo.
As the supervisor, organizer of the troll farm, kasama po yun doon sa batas na nakatakutan ko lang dito, Gretchen, although this has yet to be proven, ongoing online scams. Ano ang link nito? Kasi, Gretchen, nung hearing ko, napatunayan na ang daming mga the gadgets that you showed, yung in-interview ka kanina, marami na nandun po sa malalapit sa mga malls. So ang feeling ko, to be buttressed by evidence, ang feeling ko hindi lang yung telephone conversations ang sinasagap nila, baka pati yung mga credit card numbers masagap nila, which can lead to another financially sa isang pamilya. Di ba ho, yung ma-scam ka, mawala yung laman ng debit card or bank account, etc., etc.
Okay, Senator, do we have more information on what kind of information has been taken by these alleged Chinese spies?
You better follow the proceedings on Monday, Gretchen.
Okay. Ilalabas niyo po doon.
Opo.
Which one? This latest one? You outside the Commonwealth Office?
Lahat-lahat na po siguro, Gretchen. Lahat-lahat na po siguro.
Okay. When it comes to the hierarchy of accountability, sabi niyo po yung supervisor ng troll farm, malamang yan po yung maaaring kasuhan. Ano? Pero yung mga pumapayag po na mabayaran to do this kind of work, could they also be traced realistically?
That will be part of the amendatory law because are considered as accomplices or accessories that matter. Kasi maliwanag doon sa mga akong documentary evidences, yung mga screenshots, binibigyan sila ng instruction. O tirahin mo si ganito. I-amplify mo yung ganito. And then the report, nag-report sila sa Chinese Embassy, doon sa Director for Communications, ito na po yung na namin, may 50,000 organic, ito po yung resulta, etc., etc., following the instructions. At saka, binibigyan pa ng news. May pag yung tumaas yung engagement. So, pwede sila kasi hindi lang ito naging tao, knowingly they participated. They participated in a concern to undermine the government of the Republic of the Philippines.
Okay, Senator, what kind of law are you looking at? No, this is different from the strengthening of the definition of treason. Meron po kayong pinopropose yung parang counter Foreign Espionage Act. Pagdating naman po dito sa mga troll farms, ano pong legislation ang nasa isip po ninyo?
I'm looking at alam mo, naaral ko nung araw yan eh. Matagal-tagal na rin sa Colombia yung the Filipino version of the GDPR. GDPR has been very effective in terms of enforcing compliance within the European Union. Sumusunod yung Meta, sumusunod yung Instagram, sumusunod lahat. So this is one way of policing their ranks through regulations. So pwede natin hindi naman gayahin. Sumunod sila sa GDPR sa Europe. So gagawin din siguro sa Pilipinas yan. And for those raising a howl as to the effects on freedom of expression, siguro Gretchen, you should know that freedom of expression, freedom of speech attaches to an individual. It comes to troll or fake accounts, hindi naman po yun. So dapat po siguro maunawa that the state has a right to preserve itself.
Okay, you're referring to the General Data Protection Regulation of the EU. We'll look into that. And also, we'll wait for the hearing on Monday sa mga revelation po ninyo. Maraming salamat again for joining us on May 1, Labor Day. We have Senator Francis Tolentino, chairperson of the Senate Committee on Admiralty and Maritime Zones. Stay tuned. Morning Matters. We'll be right back right after a short break. Welcome back. You're still watching Morning Matters here on One News. The Complex Committee on Contrabigay has issued more than 200 show-cause orders against national and local candidates. Of the figures, 130 were related to alleged vote buying and vote selling. 67 were for abuse of state resources and 16 were other complaints. The regions with the highest number of complaints are Calabarzon, Central Luzon, National Capital Region, Bicol Region, and Mimaropa. The Comelec First Division has disqualified Quezon Province congressional candidate Matt Erwin Florido over vote buying. Florido is the first candidate this midterm elections to be disqualified by a division of the poll body over such election offense.
It's not just simply you're just a commission of show cause orders, a commission of petitions filed. If there is a pending complaint against you, even those who have been proclaimed, kapag matuloy at magkaroon ng finding na disqualified kayo, hindi ho kami mag-aatubili na matanggal din ho kayo.
Let's get updates on that from Comelec spokesperson Attorney John Rex Laudianco, who joins us now over the line. Magandang umaga po sa inyo.
Magandang umaga po, Ms. Gretchen, and to all the viewers of Morning Matters. Good morning.
Okay, so 130 show cause orders related to alleged vote buying and vote selling and 67 for abuse of state resources, 16 for other complaints. Matadagdagan po ba itong mga show cause orders before the election day?
Inaasahan pa rin po namin yan because the reports are coming in po, Ma'am Gretchen. Ano? And ang nakakatuwa po kasi dito, yung mga kababayan natin, sila na po yung nagpapadala ng report sa Comelec at nakita nyo naman po, hindi na kami naghihintay ng complainant for as long as may nakita po kami na maaring maging potential na paglabag sa ating batas, especially vote buying, vote selling, and abuse of state resources, agad-agad meron pong show cause order.
Okay, para po maintindihan po ng ating mga kababayan, pag sinabi po nating abuse of state resources, ano po ang ibig sabihin nun?
Po, maraming klase po yan. Basta po ganito kasimple yan ang paggamit po ng pag-aari ng pamahalaan doon po sa ating pagkampanya, whether mga tao ng gobyerno, pag-aari, sasakyan, printing press at iba pa. In fact, pati facilities po, pag ginamit po ito sa pangangampanya ng whether nakaupo o incumbent or hindi nakaupo, ito po ay parte ng tinuturing natin abuse of state resources.
And how about vote buying? What kind would qualify as vote buying? Yung pamimigay po ng ayuda at this point, is that included?
Tama po. Ayon sa Section 261A ng Omnibus Election Code, ang pamimigay po ng pera, ng gifts, anumang bagay na may halaga, pati nga po pangangako, pati pangangako ng franchise, benefits, or anuman, pati employment. At ang nagbibigay po dito ay patungkol sa isang kandidato na ang purpose ay bumoto sa isang particular na kandidato o huwag iboto ang isang particular na kandidato ay maituturing po natin na vote buying. On the other side, yung vote selling naman po, yung pag-aalok ng ating boto na kapalit ay pangako, pera, anumang bagay na may halaga. At kung mapapansin niyo po doon sa huling nabanggit ninyo, doon sa pamimigay ng ayuda ay itinuturing at magiging presumption po ng vote buying kapag ka po doon sa pamimigay ng ayuda nandun ang presensya in whatever form ng isang politiko kandidato.
Okay, ito pong ang tawag po dito, yung pangako po na sinabi po ninyo, parang lahat naman po nangangako. Di ba, ng trabaho, ng scholarship, yun, papasok pa rin yun doon sa vote buying.
Opo. Alam niyo po, yung pangangako po kasi ganito yan. Halimbawa, kapag ako, binoto mo, sisiguraduhin ko, ikaw ay empleyado sa City Hall. Gagawin kitang ganito ganyan. Hindi naman po ito yung nasa forma na sinasabi natin. Gagawa tayo ng investment dito para magkaroon ng generate ng job. Ito po ang kakaiba nun. Ito po kasi sa vote buying, employ kita. Pag yung isa natin dito, telepono o invector, guy, yan yung mga iboto nyo ko para mapunta sa inyo. Isa natin sa ito. Yan po yung tinuturing ng vote buying.
Okay. Spokes, ito pong ombudsman ay naglabas po ng desisyon regarding Governor Gwen Garcia and the suspension. But sabi po nila ay COMELEC po ang mag-decide tungkol dyan. Do we have an update on that? On the suspension of Governor Gwen Garcia? Spokes, naririnig niyo po ako? It looks like we lost COMELEC spokesperson John Rex Laudianco. We have questions still on Governor Gwen, whether the suspension or preventive suspension of the ombudsman will hold, given that suspensions are not allowed 45 days before an election. Another question is if the COMELEC will allow the sale of 20 pesos a kilo for rice in the Kadiwa ng Pangulo store. So we will get to those questions later on in the day. But in the meantime, maraming salamat to COMELEC spokesperson Attorney John Rex Laudianco. Now, before we go, let me leave a quote fit for today, Labor Day. Now, the key to success is to start before you are ready. That is, I guess, a very fitting motto for all the aspiring entrepreneurs, for those looking to start something, looking for a new idea, ay magsimula lang kahit hindi pa handa, kahit marami pang mga takot at pangamba. Subukan nyo lang one step, one foot at a time. But before you get to begin anything, rest is of course important. So we do hope that you take this day, this holiday, to rest and relax and to visualize the kind of future that you want. And that's it for today's episode of Morning Matters. My name is Gretchen Ho. We are One News, all sides, all the time.